This is the tutorial for Concept 19 Skill 4 Converting Rates. And so here we're using the standard or customary system, which doesn't have specific base or prefixes that represent powers of 10. So now we have to understand these conversion factors. For instance, length, we have 1 foot is 12 inches. Yards, 1 yard equals 3 feet. 1 mile is 5,280 feet, and so on. Then we also have the ones for mass and then ones for capacity. And so let's take a look at the first one here. And it talks about converting 7 feet per hour to inches per hour. And so let's underline what we want to convert. We want to convert 7 feet to inches. And so the units of time are staying the same, hours. And so what we need to do first is figure out which conversion factor we're using. So this would be the one that we need, is 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Now notice what they did. They started by writing this as a ratio, 7 feet per hour. And so we wrote 7 feet, and then the per represents the division sign. And so that's where we get the fraction bar from. And then we write that as a fraction, and now we're trying to go from inches to hours. So we're keeping the hours the same, but what's changing is the unit of length. So we're going from feet to inches. So what we're going to do is take this conversion factor of 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, and we want to cancel out the feet. So look how we wrote that in the fraction. So we put the units of feet in a spot in which they will cancel. So you see how the feet here, we have 1 foot here, those will now cancel, and so we're just left with inches. And that's what they did here. See, they wrote 7 feet per hour times by 12 inches per foot. And that way the feet could cancel out, and we're just left with, once we multiply 12 times 7, 84 inches per hour. So looking at this next example, here we go from 56 packages per week to packages per day. So we want to find out how many we're going to have in a day if there's 56 in a week. So basically we're converting time here. And so it's not one of these conversion factors that we'll need. We'll have to understand that weeks to days, we need to know the conversion factor. So there are 1 week is equal to 7 days. And so what that tells me is I can start off with my first fraction is this, 56 packages per week. That's what we wrote here. But now we want to use this conversion factor to cancel out the weeks and change to days. So notice this time, instead of putting the number that other than 1 on top, we put it on the bottom, because notice what we want to cancel. We want to cancel the weeks. We want this week to cancel out this week right here. Those will cross cancel, and then we're left with days in the denominator, and that's what we want. So that's what they did here. So when we have a number in the denominator, that means we have to divide into the numerator. So 7 goes into 56 8 times. And so that's what we're going to be doing on these next few examples here. So let's take a look at the next one. Here we want to convert 12 quarts per day to gallons per day. So we're changing quarts to gallons. So let's see what we'd end up doing. We'll start with our conversion factor and capacity here. 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So let's start with writing our fractions. So we've got 12 quarts per day, and then we're going to multiply that by another fraction. Now this fraction is going to be 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, but I want to put it in such a way to cancel out quarts. So what I do typically is I put the quarts here and the gallons up here, because I want those quarts to cancel, and then I go back to the numbers. Okay, 4 quarts per 1 gallon. So 1 gallon is to 4 quarts. And then I can get those quarts to cancel and multiply across. So 12 times 1 is 12 gallons per 4 days. So I want to find out for just 1 day, so I divide 4 into 12, and that goes 3 times. So my answer would be 3 gallons per day. Let's take a look at the next one. Here I want to convert 50 feet per minute to feet per second. So here are the units I need to change. Minutes to seconds. So let's take a look at that time unit again. We know that there are 1 minute is to or equals 60 seconds. So we're going to use that conversion factor here. So we'll start off with the one we have, 50 feet per minute And then we're going to multiply this by a conversion factor. And I want to go from minutes to seconds, so I want the minutes to cancel. So that's why I'm putting minutes on top to get these two to cancel out. So now I have minutes on top, minutes on the bottom. They will cross-cancel. And then I'm going to put seconds in the denominator. Now, I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So that's why I put the 1 on top and the 60 on the bottom, because 60 goes with seconds. So now, again, those minutes will cancel. And when I multiply across, well, no multiplying there. It's just 50 feet. 50 feet in 60 seconds. So I can cancel out these zeros here, and I'm left with a fraction. And I'll keep it that way. 5/6 of a foot per second. And that would be our answer. So those are types of problems you'll see on Concept 19 Skill 4. Good luck.